Everything you say to yourself is planting something. Your mind and heart are like fertile soil. They don't argue with the seed. They just grow whatever you put in. If you speak words of doubt, those doubts take root and begin to shape how you think, how you feel, and how you act. If you speak words of life, those seeds grow into confidence, hope, and strength. For the next 3 days, I want you to be conscious of every seed you're dropping into your own heart. Don't let them be accidental. Don't let them be careless. Every sentence you speak to yourself is either building your life or breaking it down. So plant carefully. Think about a farmer. He doesn't go out in the morning and throw just anything into his field. He studies what he wants to harvest, and he plants exactly that. If he wants apples, he doesn't throw in corn seeds. If he wants grapes, he doesn't toss in thorns. And yet, many of us go through our days speaking things over ourselves we don't even want to see in our lives. We say, I'm always messing things up. I never get things right. I'm just unlucky. Those are thorn seeds, weed seeds, poison seeds. And then we're surprised when our life starts looking like a patch of thorns. But you have the authority to change the crop. For 3 days, speak only what you're willing to see grow. Tell yourself, I am focused. I am consistent. I am favored. I am strong. Even if your circumstances don't match the words right now, that's not lying. That's planting. You're not reporting the news. You're writing the future headline. And if you keep planting the right seeds, your harvest will shift. Some of you are wondering, but what if I don't believe the words yet? That's okay. The soil doesn't check whether the seed feels ready to grow. It simply responds to what's planted. Faith grows as you keep sowing. Your emotions will catch up to your confession if you keep speaking it. The first time you plant corn, you don't get corn that afternoon. You keep watering. You keep waiting. And the soil does what it was designed to do. This is why I said to be intentional for just 3 days. 3 days is enough to see the first signs that something is shifting. 3 days of consistent, positive self-talk will start breaking the habit of careless words. You'll feel lighter. You'll notice your inner critic getting quieter. And when that critic does try to talk, you'll recognize it and choose different seeds. So, for the next 3 days, guard your mouth like a farmer guards his field. Don't Don't throw in anything you don't want to see in your future. Plant the seeds of the life you want. Water them with repetition and watch as the first green shoots of change begin to rise. Your harvest is in your hands. Most people are their own harshest critics. You can have a room full of people praising you, and yet the one voice in your head telling you you're not enough drowns all of that out. We've become so used to pointing out our own flaws that we don't even notice how destructive it is. We talk to ourselves like we're our worst enemy. And then we wonder why our confidence keeps shrinking. But here's the truth. You cannot build a strong life with a weak inner conversation. You can't keep tearing yourself down and expect to stand tall. For the next 3 days, I want you to replace self-criticism with self-commissioning. A commission is an assignment, an official sending forth. Instead of telling yourself everything you're not, start sending yourself out into your day with power. Wake up in the morning and tell yourself, today I am going to show up with clarity. I am going to solve problems with wisdom. I am going to add value wherever I go. You're not just giving yourself a pep talk. You're issuing a mission statement for your own life. Think of how a general addresses a soldier before a battle. He doesn't stand there and list the soldier's weaknesses or mistakes from the past. No. He looks him in the eye and reminds him of his training, his purpose, his capacity. He sends him out knowing he's equipped. That's how you have to speak to yourself. Because the battles you face, whether they're in your career, your relationships, or your mind, require a confident soldier, not a defeated one. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but I have to be real with myself. Let me tell you something. Being real doesn't mean being relentlessly negative. You can acknowledge where you are without destroying your spirit. You can say, yes, I have things to improve. And in the same breath declare, I have what it takes to improve them. That's not denial. That's leadership over your own life. Here's the shift you'll notice when you practice this for 3 days. First, your posture will change. You'll stand differently because you're not walking into situations already defeated in your own head. Second, your decisions will improve because you're no longer acting from a place of fear, but from a place of readiness. And third, people will start responding to you differently because the energy you bring will be stronger, more assured, more focused. But you can't wait for someone else to commission you. If you sit around hoping for someone to come along and give you permission to be great, you might wait forever. You have to be the voice that releases yourself into your own assignment. Speak like the commander of your own destiny, because that's exactly what you are. For the next 3 days, stop criticizing yourself and start commissioning yourself. You'll be amazed how much ground you can cover when you stop holding yourself back. One of the biggest mistakes we make in our self-talk is that we speak more about where we've been than where we're going. We keep rehearsing the same stories, the same failures, the same disappointments, until our own words trap us in a loop. We end up reinforcing an identity that no longer serves us. If you've been struggling, it's probably not just because of what happened in your past. It's because you keep giving your past the microphone. For the next 3 days, I want you to flip the script. Speak in the language of your future, not your past. The words you use should match the direction you want your life to go. If you keep telling yourself, "I've always been this way," or "nothing ever works out for me," you're locking yourself into an outdated version of you. Imagine trying to use an old map to get to a new destination. It's not going to lead you where you want to go. In the same way, old language will keep taking you to old places. You've got to start describing yourself as the person you're becoming, not just the person you've been. This isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about refusing to let the past define the next chapter. Yes, you may have been fearful before, but now you say, "I am courageous." Yes, you may have made mistakes before, but now you say, "I am wiser and more prepared." Even if those words feel uncomfortable at first, that's okay. Growth is always uncomfortable in the beginning. You're stretching your identity to fit a new reality. Think of an athlete in training. If she only talks about the races she lost last season, she's not preparing her mind to win this season. Instead, she speaks about the strength she's building, the speed she's gaining, the victory she's aiming for. She talks in the language of her future performance, not her past results. You have to train your mouth the same way, because your mouth is training your mind. When you start talking about yourself as though you already have the qualities you desire, your brain begins to look for evidence to support it. You'll notice yourself making choices that align with the identity you're speaking about. If you say, I am disciplined, you'll be more likely to act in disciplined ways. If you say, I am favored, you'll start noticing opportunities instead of obstacles. For 3 days, be intentional about replacing past-based talk with future-based talk. Every time you're tempted to describe yourself using old patterns, stop and ask, does this sentence describe where I'm going or just where I've been? If it only describes the past, replace it with a declaration that pulls you forward. Your future self is waiting for you to start speaking its language. And the sooner you start, the sooner you'll arrive. Negative thoughts will always try to slip in. They come quietly, sometimes so naturally that you don't even notice them at first. 1 minute you're thinking about your day, and the next you're replaying a mistake, doubting your ability, or imagining the worst outcome. Left unchecked, those thoughts grow roots. They start shaping your mood, your confidence, your choices. But here's the thing. You have the power to stop them before they settle. You don't have to let them run their full course. You can interrupt them mid-sentence and replace them with a declaration that builds instead of breaks. Think of it like this. When you're watching a movie you don't like, you grab the remote and change the channel. You don't sit there for 2 hours letting it poison your mind. But when it comes to the thoughts we think, many of us just sit there and let the negativity play out. You need to become quick with your mental remote. The moment a thought says, you're going to fail, you cut it off with, I am fully equipped and prepared. When your mind whispers, nobody notices you, you respond, I carry value everywhere I go. That interruption is not just a mental trick. It's retraining your inner dialogue. At first, it may feel exhausting because you'll realize just how often those negative scripts show up. But that's a good thing. It means you're becoming aware. And awareness is the first step to change. Every time you catch one and replace it, you weaken the grip it has on you. Your mind starts learning that it doesn't have the final say unless you agree with it. This is why declarations are so powerful. They're not random words. They're targeted counterattacks. A declaration takes the exact fear doubt, or insecurity you're facing and flips it into a statement of strength. It's like replacing a locked door with an open gate. Instead of letting the negative thought block your path, you turn it into a thought that moves you forward. The more you do this, the faster it becomes. At the beginning, you may have to pause and think about what to say. But after a few days of practice, your positive declarations will come naturally. They'll become your default setting. You won't have to wrestle with every negative thought. You'll meet it with strength the moment it appears. For the next 3 days, treat negativity like an uninvited guest. Don't entertain it. Don't pour it coffee. The second it knocks, interrupt it with a declaration that declares your worth, your ability, and your purpose. Every interruption is a victory. Every declaration is a seed. And every time you choose your words over your worries, you're taking back control of the atmosphere inside you. Hope is a beautiful thing, but if all you ever do is hope, you'll spend your life waiting for something that's already within reach. Hope looks forward, but declaration pulls the future into the present. Hope says, I wish it would happen. Declaration says, it is happening. And there's a big difference between those two. For the next 3 days, I want you to stop speaking like you're waiting for permission to be blessed, to be confident, to be whole, and start speaking like it's already yours. When you say, I hope I'll be confident, your mind hears uncertainty. It hears that confidence is somewhere far away, out of your hands. But when you say, I am confident, your mind starts aligning your behavior to match those words. You begin to carry yourself differently, make decisions differently, and engage with life differently. That's because your words create a framework your thoughts and actions begin to fill. It's like walking into a room you've been told is dark and dangerous. You'll move cautiously, hesitating at every step. But if you walk into that same room believing it's safe and filled with opportunity, you'll move freely. The room hasn't changed. Your belief and your words have. That's how powerful this shift is. Many people keep themselves stuck in someday language. Someday I'll be debt-free. Someday I'll have peace. Someday I'll be in shape. But as long as you keep it in, someday your mind treats it like it's always ahead of you. Declaration brings it into today. You don't have to lie to yourself. You just speak from the position of faith. You're not saying, I am debt free, because your bank account says so. You're saying it because you've aligned your actions and your mindset with that outcome, and you're calling it into being. This is how leaders speak. This is how people who create change speak. They don't wait for evidence before they open their mouth. They understand their words are part of what creates the evidence. If you speak like you already carry the thing you desire, your life starts making room for it. You start noticing opportunities you would have missed if you were still speaking in. I hope language. For the next 3 days, pay attention to every I hope that comes out of your mouth. Catch it and turn it into an I am. If you hear yourself saying, I hope things get better, replace it with, things are aligning for my good right now. If you say, I hope I can handle this, replace it with, I am equipped to handle this. That single shift will change the energy you carry and the results you attract. So stop speaking like your future is far away. Pull it into your present. Speak as though the life you want is already here. Because the moment you do, you'll start living in a way that makes it inevitable. When you change the way you speak to yourself, you're not just changing your words, you're changing your atmosphere, the tone of your thoughts, the energy you carry, the way you show up in a room. It all begins to shift. And the remarkable thing is, people around you will notice it even before you do. You'll carry yourself with more certainty, and others will respond to that certainty. You'll speak with more clarity, and people will start listening differently. This is not magic. It's simply the natural effect of aligning your inner conversation with the life you want to live. Your atmosphere is the invisible climate you create everywhere you go. For some, it's heavy because their words have been heavy. For others, it's uplifting because their words have been filled with life. The beautiful part is that you get to choose what kind of atmosphere follows you. When you start speaking life, gratitude, confidence, and possibility over yourself for 3 days straight, the cloud begins to lift. The room feels lighter when you walk in, not because the room changed, but because you changed what you're carrying into it. Your decisions also start to shift. The person who tells themselves, I am capable, will step into opportunities they used to hesitate about. The person who declares, "I am focused," will start finishing projects that once felt overwhelming. Words don't just influence emotions, they influence action. When you act from a place of belief instead of doubt, the results you get begin to multiply. And when those results start showing up, your confidence grows even stronger. It becomes a cycle. Positive words feed positive actions, and positive actions reinforce positive words. Another thing you'll notice is how much resistance fades. Problems will still come, but they won't knock you off balance as easily. You carry an inner stability that isn't shaken by every negative comment, every small setback, every unexpected turn. Why? Because your self-talk has been building a foundation. For 3 days, you've been telling yourself who you are, and now you've begun to believe it. That belief becomes your shield. Even your relationships will shift. People will start treating you according to the way you treat yourself. If you speak about yourself with worth, others will see that worth. If you show up confident in your value, others will respect that value. And all of that started not with a major life event, but with 3 intentional days of guarding your words and shaping your inner conversation. By the time those 3 days are up, you'll realize that you didn't just change the way you talk, you changed the way you live. You'll see that your words have been quietly setting the temperature of your life all along. And when you choose the right words, the atmosphere you carry will open doors you didn't even know existed.